The Black Hole.
Right.
Disney. Ernest Borgnine.
Disney. Check 1, 2. We're live, everybody.
3, 4. Oh, we're here. 2 weeks. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Boy, so much showbiz has happened.
Right.
So much business that I can't even tell you.
He's a businessman.
Welcome, everybody, to the Brian McCarthy Interview Show. I'm here, of course, with Adam Hineker, and we are, if you're watching or on Facebook or, of course, YouTube. So, smash the like button. And then
smash the like button, everybody.
Oh, God. I feel so dirty. But, and obviously, if you're listening, it's a podcast. Thank you very much. The good shit, don't forget, is on Patreon. So if you really like the show, and what's wrong with you if you do?
Hey, you might want to get that checked out. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, everybody.
That's only going to get worse. That's a rash going to turn into a what's worse than a rash? Like a sore?
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, the show
cluster of sores.
we're off to a good start. But yeah. So anyway, so there you go. So welcome, and well. I got to be very careful about how I navigate.
You don't want to break any rules of show business.
Well, I had to sign an NDA, which is in broad.
No drugs allowed.
Yeah, right. No dopes allowed. And I showed up, and they go, "Well, we're gonna have to get a writer for this joker."
Maybe get a provisionary permit.
Yeah, So the long story longer is that I spent last week shooting a pilot in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Hey, what was his name?
Yeah, fucking.
Who ended up flying the plane?
Yeah, the frequent flyer miles for your handgun. So that's what I did. So I was in New Mexico. They shoot a lot of television in New Mexico because of the tax breaks, and I will say this: I'm going to try to keep this fairly linear, but when you wear a collared shirt in Albuquerque, people come up to you and just go, "Are you here shooting a movie?" It's a very casual town.
They expect a tip. Everybody.
It's they're dirty. They're dirty people. You remember the sand people from Star Wars? Well, they all live in Albuquerque, and again, I don't want to be one of those like guys who lives in New York who's like, "Oh, everywhere fucking sucks."
Sure.
It's
elitist.
It's just different, and if you like green and or red chilies, you're in the right place. Don't walk to Albuquerque. Every single menu item. It's almost like every restaurant they just give. It's almost like the government of Albuquerque said, "Okay, here's one menu. Everyone has to just have this menu."
Right.
You can have one or two things for dessert. Maybe churros or you know what a sopapilla is?
I believe I do.
Go ahead.
No, but tell me. I mean, I've seen it on a menu. I don't know if I've ever ordered it.
It's really
Sopapilla.
It's not a lot of it. Okay, it looks like a pita, sopapilla, and it's like a big fried dough.
Does it have cheese and green chili in it?
No, it's a dessert.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of a savory thing.
It's just like a big chunk of like thick tortilla with honey on it, and everybody's like, "You got to try our sopapillas." I'm like, "Well, what could be possibly different from this sopapilla than the place over there?"
Sure.
It seems like it's the exact same thing. So I was cast in a television pilot, and I shot it, and I did that, and I hope I hope it went well. If someone would have told me 3 weeks ago that I was going to spend a week in Albuquerque, New Mexico, making but such is the life we've chosen. So I haven't done like scripted anything for a very long time, and certainly not like a TV show. So I had some anxiety because I had to like know lines and remember lines, and I largely I didn't fuck anything up. So I think that's a good way to start.
Yeah.
And the director, I will say that the director, it was. You want to hear the definition of a backhanded compliment? When I was cast, and apparently, a lot of people went up. That's what we say in show business. Went up.
Where do you go?
Yeah. Well, that would be.
Or what are you going out for?
Yeah. Exactly.
A lot of people went out for it.
I would I would say, "Hey, can I get my sides?" I have a
Right.
coffee ring. And those are the
Sure.
lines you say.
Yeah, and they brought you a sopapilla.
I would say, I got the honey from my sopapilla, got it all over my sides. And then, excuse me, are you the showrunner? But the guy, when I was cast, we had a phone conversation of a few days prior to me going out to Albuquerque, and he goes, I don't know. He goes, well, we're really happy to have you on. He goes, my wife thought you were funny. Which
Interesting.
I thought it was funny.
My wife thought you were funny. Well, I guess it would depend on the inflection.
Well,
like if it was my wife thought you were funny, or my wife thought you were really funny.
Yeah, it was kind of like
in addition to the rest of the people casting, my wife, and she doesn't think anything's funny. That could be great, or it could be, well, my wife thought you were funny.
Yeah, I thought I'd bring her on. I'd bring the old bag, throw her a bone. There you go, sweetheart. You like this one, honey? The guy from New York? All right.
Like you're a pony for her.
Yeah, exactly.
Bat mitzvah.
Yeah. I'm like Richard Pryor in The Toy.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. Hey, do me a favor. Give me a little B-roll of rolling around. Pretend you're on fire. My wife will think that's hilarious.
Yeah, you're living, breathing Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
For Christmas.
Yeah. Hey, while we're here, call my wife and act like a Chinaman. Just like random weird shit. Yeah, exactly. Hey, sweetheart, remember that tard we got? Yeah, here he is. Right. I know. You're what we call stunt casting.
Right.
So I was there and I did it, and I was in Albuquerque for a week, and at the very end of it, I actually I stayed at a hotel, and they had the fucking continental breakfast thing, and as I was waiting to get picked up, I actually sat at a table with the director. He was like, "Did you have any fun? Did you enjoy this at all?" Because I wasn't like quiet, but like the first day I got there, I got in like a week ago, almost, the past Saturday. Sure. And I got there and I got a text message from one of the production guys, and he was like, "Hey, we're all meeting at this place right by the hotel, and it's a little casting crew. If you want to come, great. If you don't want to come, that's fine too. You don't have to. But if you want to." So I was like, you know what? I'll go say hi to everybody.
Yeah, mix it up.
Yeah, go over and give the folks a thrill. And go over, and so I showed up, and the crew is there, and I'm always like, I've done enough things like this where I tend to like, not that I don't like the actors, and they're fine. They were all very nice people, but like I ended up like, the crew to me is more.
Okay, you're mixing it up with the everyman.
Yeah, I'm right.
If I can,
my feeling is always this: if I can entertain those people who have seen 8 million fucking productions, and have worked on whatever, if they're entertained by what I'm doing, then at the very least, I'm on to something with these guys.
Right, it's a nice little focus group.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there again, and the crew, they had come in from all over the country. There were about 20 of them. And one guy had come in. He had just done an Alicia Keys concert at Webster Hall. Another guy had come in from fucking Germany. Another guy had come in from another blah 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 blah. So I show up, and the director is there. I met him, briefly, and I'm making sort of jokes and stuff. And immediately, they can't help themselves. Sure. The crew's laughing.
Fucking stitches.
Yeah, fucking. I said, I just flew here. Boy, my wing's tired.
Oh, crank it up.
Yeah. You guys, hey, I would rib them. I would go, hey, what are you, the best boy? What happened? The fucking other guy died? Runner up, the best boy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, what's key
hey,
grip?
You're the best. Which one of you's the worst?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, what are you, the key grip? What are you, a locksmith too or something with your keys?
What's got you laughing?
Guy in the bed. What do you got? You got so many lights. What's your name? Chandelier? Yeah. Okay. Things like that.
Liberace called.
All right. Hey, boom mic. What is it? What is the show is going to be exploding or something with the boom mic? So anyway, things like that.
Yeah.
And then I became cognizant of the idea that maybe the director, because television productions, they run like the director would be the general, director of photography is a colonel and so on. So I didn't want to and this sounds enormously self-serving, but I didn't want to be funnier than I didn't want to take all the attention away. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's not a big group of people. We're in like a kind of a party room. So I just
And you're talking in the social situation.
Yes.
While socializing.
I didn't want to
Gotcha.
start the week
that
off.
That makes sense. Because in the actual production, you would want you'd want to fucking kill it. But,
well, I'll get to that. But
okay, all right.
But so
I guess depending on the material, maybe.
Well, and
maybe
also the director, he wrote this. So
Right.
I immediately I was aware of. I was like, shit. I don't want to be. And again, this is very self-serving. But I don't want to be too funny. Oh, shut up. But what I mean is
Dial it down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Dial it down. It's a gift. You know?
Yeah, a bright light shines in this room.
Diffuse
Yeah,
some of this
I can't.
light
Listen,
coming up from Brian.
It's either this or nothing. So I just had to leave.
Yeah.
You know. So. But it was funny. So then I went outside and I was talking to these two guys outside, and I thought they were part of the crew. And I'm asking him all these questions like, so what are you guys working on? Or where'd you come from? And blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And the two guys
They're
are
like
kind of,
drywall.
they were the
Santa Fe.
They were the bouncers for the bar. So I asked these two guys, I said, oh, I didn't know you guys were real jabronis. And I said, what's around here what's like the kind of fancy thing to do around here? And they said, well, there's an Indian casino just over there, a couple miles away, and it's called like Sandistas, which is the Spanish word for watermelon.
They've got a Sex in the City themed slot machine that's all the rage.
Yeah.
You gotta get in there.
2 words: Jurassic Park poker machine.
Yes.
Okay, and Jeff Goldblum did the voices.
Right.
He goes, "Oh, hit me," things of that nature.
Yes, hit me, yes.
Chip Goldblum.
Yes.
I'm turning into a fly. Buzz off. I said it was just fucking Gina Davis. Buzz off.
Fucking Chip Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum would be great. Oh, I played a fucking jazz piano or things like that.
Like if they did a montage of people auditioning for the role of Chip. And I'm chipping you. Yes, I'm chipping you.
Things of this nature.
What's the how do you say? I got you laughing.
Yeah, right. What's yeah.
Just dragging shit
yeah.
out way too long.
By the way, this is Jim Norton's Chip Chipperson, by the way. I don't know why we're stuck on that but hopefully we'll pull out of it.
I think a lot. Everybody that's really been exposed to it kind of is.
I would imagine. Yes. And
it's infectious.
So I call a Lyft. And by the way, I will say this. I noticed this when I was in other parts of the country. Lyfts are fucking dirt cheap.
Really?
Yeah, because they're not like in New York. They have to be like the taxi and license. They have to be like
right. And you pay congestion pricing, and
whatever
things of that nature.
From this apartment to Times Square, it's going to be roughly $95.
No, did you just get a fucking Kleenex or something? Congestion.
Yeah.
Hey, never heard of Sudafed.
If I was in congestion traffic, I'd go, hey, this is not the right way. It's not the right way.
Home run.
All right. So anyway,
in the park, home run.
So I get in the car. And I mean, it's so funny because the guy goes, oh, it's a couple miles away, and I go, well, how? He goes, oh, do you want to get picked up in 10 minutes or 12 minutes? I said, what's the difference? He goes, one's $7 and one's $9. I'm like,
wow, might
as well sit at 5 cents.
Let's go ahead.
So
let's go ahead
right now. So and then a 2014 Kia Forte pulls up.
Sure,
I'm climbing over baby seats, and so I get in. I go to the Indian casino, and which is. It's a fucking casino. I don't like casinos. I don't even.
Yeah,
I'm not
a huge fan.
No, it's too loud. It is
loud and smoky.
It's like not smoky, but it's loud as shit. And also, there was some sort of Tejano band was playing. So there are all these like Mexican or Mexican Americans who are all like 5'4" with cowboy hats on,
sure,
and giant belt buckles, like
Western wear,
like little Mexican cowboys walking around,
Southwesterners
with their very heavy girlfriends.
So yeah.
A lot of beans and shit.
They've bared some children.
Yeah. So I got to the 9th floor. There was a nice restaurant on the 9th floor, and I went up there and I had a buffalo, and it was fine. And then I got in a cab or a Lyft on the way home. And by the way, Albuquerque's fucking freezing. It was like 30 degrees the whole time I was there. So because it's way up in the mountains. It's 1,000 feet higher than Denver. Who knew?
Wow.
So I get in the Lyft on the way home. I'm talking to the driver, and I go, hey, I said, is there any titty bars around here And he goes, well, we're going to drive right past T and D's. That's Tim and Dave's. They're the owners. And I go, oh, let's just.
Okay.
Why don't we just go there on the way back to the hotel the depressing hotel I'm staying in by the highway. So he pulls in, drops me off. I go in. The bouncer is this giant white guy with a bald, with like a braided gray goatee,
Nice.
like little beads in it and
Right,
shit. All
right.
right, okay, all
Yeah.
right. $10. I paid $10 to get in. So funny, they carded me. I was like, here, I'm 50.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I take it as a compliment.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. All the moisturizer what I pay for moisturizer, you better card me. Am I right? I know. Supple skin.
Right.
I'm from New York. We take care of ourselves. Not like you desert rats.
Right.
Yeah. So I get in and I go in and I walk in and it immediately it's again, I know it's like I am an old man, whatever. It's way too loud. And the women were like the first girl that came up to me was fucking terrifying looking. Like she was a Gallagher's 2. And like she comes up and she's like, "You want to dance?" Like, yeah, Like,
there you go, the meth heads.
And I just turned right. No, it's a very heavy girl. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe fentanyl packs on the pounds. I feel like everyone's moved on to fentanyl now. I wouldn't mind a skinny meth head, But so I just kind of
tweaker.
I go in. I actually was going to maybe buy a T-shirt. There's no merch or anything, so I just kind of walk in. I make a lap, and then I just walk out. And I see the guy with the bald guy with the goatee. And I go, hey, can you call Lyft for me? He goes, yeah, sure. Calls a car for me. He goes, he'll be here in 12 minutes. So, all right. So I go outside, and now I'm waiting. I'm by myself outside. It's fucking 30 degrees. This guy comes up to me as I'm standing out there. No. Oh, yeah, this is great. And he comes up, and he's a little guy, like 5'4", 5'5". And he goes, hey, can I ask you a favor? And I said, you can ask me a favor.
Right.
Sure. And he goes, Can you lend me your license so I can go in because they're gonna card me and I forgot my license and I need a license.
Totally reasonable request.
And I said, yeah, I'm sorry.
From a stranger at an Albuquerque strip club.
I know. In a parking lot.
You can trust me, I promise.
Yeah, listen. How can this go wrong?
Right.
So I said, yeah. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I am not doing that. I'm sorry. And he goes, all right. And by the way, you know that it's a crazy question when he was just he didn't even sell it. He was like,
sure. He's like, I get it. Moved on to the next guy.
He goes, all right. He goes, well, what if you go in and there's a back door and you open the back door and let me in? I said, what are you trying to get me killed? I'm not going to sneak you into TD strip club and. I mean...
What? Hear me out. I got a trench coat, right?
Yeah.
I get on your shoulders. No, you get on my shoulders because you're using your ID.
Yeah, all of a sudden we're in the Little Rascals, like Albuquerque edition. Right.
I saw this on Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, listen, it's going to be... I'll be buckwheat. And so I go, yeah, I'm not doing that. So then all of a sudden there's another guy who I didn't even notice who's standing out there too. And he goes to the guy that's talking to me and he goes, hey... I know you. You got fired from the police department. And the little guy says to that guy, he goes, fuck you. I quit. You're a bitch. And the other guy, he goes, you got fired. Everyone knows it. By the way, how big is Albuquerque where the guy outside knows the guy with no license and now they're like talking to each other like they're at Thanksgiving.
Yeah. They know a lot of the whole backstory.
He goes, oh, I know you, man. You got fired from the police department. That's actually not a bad New Mexico accent, I'll be honest. And
these are, that guy sounds like he could be a Mexican fella.
Well, they're all Chicano out there.
Gotcha.
I
haven't heard the word Chicano.
Well,
they speak Esperanto.
They speak, like Bill Shatner. Yeah, but Chicanos are Mexican Americans that have typically been in this country for like 150 years, so they don't even speak Spanish.
Right.
They just imagine looking like you're Mexican and you're not speaking Spanish. I mean, it's
if you think about it, there's a lot of like Puerto Ricans in New York that there's a generation that doesn't speak any. They like understand it.
It's like being a tall black guy and not having a jump shot. It kind of is, like to a certain extent, or being ready for this one, a Jew bad at math.
Okay.
God, too soon. Hamas. So we go, and so the guy goes, I know you got fired from the police department. And he goes, you're a bitch, man. He goes, fuck you, man. And all of a sudden, the guy who wanted my license just starts taking his shirt off, as one would do. And he goes, come at me, bro. You'll see what happens when you come at me. And the other guy's just laughing at him. He's going, oh, you're going to get fired again? and like making fun of him.
They sound Mexican Canadian.
Yeah, oh, it's cold here. We're cold, Mexican. You want a sopapilla? Stuff with poutine?
Well, maybe because it's so cold. They're like,
Mexican.
We're starting to sound Canadian.
So now the guy has no shirt on. Now I'm standing there.
This is great.
And he's hopping around, dare I say, like a Mexican jumping bean.
Sure, like he's got good footwork.
Yeah, he's like showing the guy what will happen
right?
when he comes over. And he has no shirt on. And then the bald bouncer comes.
Shadow box?
Pretty much. I mean, yes. And it's cold outside, so I guess he's got to stay warm, little fella. Would freeze like Luke Skywalker. Got to stick him in a tan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, I guess out of nowhere, the bald guy with the braided goatee just comes out of the front of the strip club, and he sees the guy, and he knows the guy too.
Oh, he's probably caught him coming in through the restroom window.
Yeah.
A time or two.
It's like he falls out of the air conditioning duct. Carlos,
it's like a whole fucking like Ocean's 11
you'll
fucking thing
you bury
to try to
yourself.
get
Right.
in.
He's got a fake mustache on. Shows up. Hey, I'm here for the bar mitzvah catering job. Yes. I heard that the toilets is all clogged up. Nah, we know it's you. You come to right. Military stolen valor shows up like dressed like a Civil War general. Hey, I'm here for the reenactment of the Alamo, and so he comes out and he goes over to the guy and he goes, "Listen, you can't come out here anymore, and you can't. You gotta stop coming around." And he goes, "Hey," and he knew this guy's name. It was like, "Hey, Bob, you tell Carla I need my watch back." So apparently somebody in there named Carla had taken his watch, or at least he thought Carla had his watch.
Yeah.
And So as this is happening, my Lyft driver pulls up. Who's a woman, another fucking.
And you're like, I actually want to stay.
Yeah, can you? I have 5 minutes, right? Right. Oh, you have kids in the car. Another 13-year-old Kia
Uber pool.
Yeah, and so she pulls up, and I went to the bald white guy, and I said, "Just so you know, this is going to go my Yelp review. I hate to do that, but I feel like." And he's just like,
I'm a stickler.
Yeah. So I just jump in the car and I leave. And that was I had been in Albuquerque for all of 2 hours when that happened. And maybe 3.
Sounds like you got quite a slice of Albuquerque.
Oh, yeah. Turns out that guy who took his shirt off was the mayor.
Right. Yes. That guy was city council.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it was. So then I had my week. And then the other thing I do want to share with you, which I think is pretty funny. And again, I'm not really allowed to talk about the show. So I won't. But so when I got hired, I was hired. Number one, the guy's wife thought I was funny, so that's good. And also, by the way, director, super nice guy. Everyone on the crew was very nice. There were a couple of actors. Like this one guy was really actory, which was cute. It was fine. But he was like, I'd have a scene. He'd be like, "Bro, you're killing it today. You're killing it, bro." Which again, he's just trying to be nice, and he was very earnest about it. It was fine. But I have a heart. I don't take myself that seriously, to put it mildly. So I don't have. I'm always just I get embarrassed.
Yeah.
And and I would sort of keep to myself. So we had like a room for us. Oh yes. And then so what I want to talk about is. The director has said on our phone conversation a couple days prior to me getting out there, he had said, listen, I'm not precious about the script because, again, the guy has written this thing. And a lot of times on TV shows, you have to say exactly what the words are. And that's kind of the point of it, right? That's the show. So, okay, fine. So I wanted to be respectful of what this guy had worked on because I'm sure it went through like revisions and blah, 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 blah. His wife probably chimed in.
Yeah, crafted so you don't want some asshole showing up
and being like, but having said that,
this isn't Curb.
It's a comedy.
Right.
And there were a couple of points in this thing where I thought I could kind of zhuzh it up
riff a little bit.
Just and without taking away from the ultimate or the arc of the scene. Oh my God, shut up. But like so there was one scene where I had this idea where, again, speaking in very broad terms, the character that I was playing had a little bit of a speech. But the speech that the character had was really brief. But the speech was about something that this character felt passionately about. So I was like, and it was at the very top of the show. So this is like the opening of this pilot of the TV show. We shot it on the third day, so you don't shoot things consecutively. I mean, we did,
not always linear.
Yes. So I'd already been like working for a day or two, so I felt a little more comfortable kind of coming. But up until now, I hadn't really done very much. So this is one of the and this day I had a lot of like scenes. This is today the Wednesday was like my Wednesday and Thursday were like my big scene days. So so this is Wednesday. So I had this idea where my character, where instead of saying this little bit, that just kind of like was paid service to what. It was like basically like my character says a little something, not really even funny, but it just kind of moves the thing along. But I thought to myself, what if there are other characters around me, two other characters had really funny things that they got to say. So I was kind of like, you know what, maybe I can I can throw a little something. So I take the director aside. And by the way, like, when I made all my fucking adult bullshit and women's wrestling and everything else, it's like this production had to cost conservatively $100,000, probably a lot more. I don't even know. But so the guy has a lot going on. So I want to be respectful of not taking anybody aside. So he's kind of like almost like walking past me, and I was like, hey, I have an idea for the thing coming up. Can I talk to you for like 1 minute? And he's like, and he's nice about it. He goes, yeah, sure. And I said, okay, well, here's my idea. My idea is to instead of doing that, why don't I? Because it was about somebody else in the scene, and I'm sorry I'm speaking so generally, but I said, but what if I say like all this stuff about the guy, but while I'm saying this stuff about the guy, I'm actually saying terrible things about the guy, but my character doesn't really realize it.
Right.
And at the end, as a way of making like a sort of an apology about this guy's behavior, I go, every pencil has an eraser, and even Hitler has a girlfriend. And he goes, what? He goes, what about Hitler? And he all of a sudden, he just looks at me, and he goes, you want to say Hitler has a girlfriend? And I go, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh
no, I am on my heels.
Bad idea.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Whoops.
Oh, this is...
But I felt strongly about... I said, well, I don't have to say that. I said, the reason I said that, I go, Trauma Films, The Toxic Avenger. He goes, Toxic Avenger? He's like, what are you talking about? Like, he was legitimate. He wasn't angry, but he was like...
He was flummoxed. He was bewildered.
Because he
was thinking he may have hired a crazy person based on his wife thinking he was funny.
Right. Honey... You were wrong about you were wrong about the color in the family room, and this fucking guy wants to open my pilot talking about how Hitler had a girlfriend.
The pillow shams. Now this,
sweetheart. Yeah, my mother was right about you. You're lucky she died a year ago.
So at this point, you're not totally conveying your point effectively. You're being misunderstood.
Yes, and but I think sometimes when you say the word Hitler to people,
100%,
it just kind of snapped his head a little bit.
Yeah,
and then I went, Trauma Film. I said there's actually a movie called Even Hitler Had a Girlfriend, and it's about a guy that's such a loser that he can't even pay hookers to have sex with him, and he's looking at me like I'm not making it any better. At this point, I'm off. God. The wheels are off the wagon. You know what I mean? And so I was like, I said, you know what? I said, just forget it. And he goes, yeah, we can't say Hitler. It's going to be really a problem. I said, look, let me just say this is why I took you aside, and this is why I mentioned this. I said, I'm sorry. I'll just say it how you want me to say it. Forget it. This never happened. I said, we'll never discuss the shortcut again. And I just walked away. And so, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So that was...
Wait, so you never were able to kind of convey what you just said, you know what, let's just leave it alone.
I didn't want to... Listen,
that's probably a smart long term.
I could have probably tweaked it even while we were there. I didn't want to be a problem. And I was also look, the guy wrote it. If this is what if this is what he wants me to do, then fuck it. I'll just do it that way. And what do I know anyway? So
is there I mean, I know sometimes there's kind of room to fuck around. I don't know if there's like a, hey, can we get one more?
Yes.
Just like kind of make it your own. Like, did you have a shot like that?
Yes,
okay.
yes. But I think once I said even Hitler had a girlfriend, I kind of blew my.
Yes.
Can I have another?
Because people are so. I mean, I guess to right now, and especially like probably, I don't know, your Hollywood types.
Yeah, a lot of LA types.
There just is like a reaction, immediate reaction.
And then actually the day before, I was in hair and makeup, and the makeup woman was very cute. She was a little like she was like a little kind of a pixie-ish girl, like little, and she had like a little makeup girls. They always have like fun little hats and like little outfits and everything. And so she's working on me. She's doing whatever, and then and as she's working on me, she has a long like script on her arm.
Right.
And I said, and she had all these tattoos everywhere. Sure. And I said, hey, what does that say in your arm? And she goes, it's a line from Harry Potter. She goes, and I wish I didn't have it because of J.K. Rowling's. And
she got it.
She's like, at some point
they are canceled.
Yeah, she goes, somebody got to take care of it. So what do I say? I go, well, I tell you, we all have tattoos we wish we didn't have. My back is covered in swastikas, but they're not even really tattoos. When I was in federal prison, the gang that I was their plaything. They carved them into my back and then poured ink into them. So even when I get them removed, which I'm going to do because I'm tired of the looks at the beach, when I get them removed, I'm still going to have ropey scar tissue that looks like swastikas.
Yeah.
She looked at me and she goes,
and you sold it like that because we know that you're famous for committing.
You got to commit.
You commit.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's weird.
Right.
Yeah.
So you committed.
Oh, yeah.
And
she stops looking. She stops working at me. She goes, what? She goes, you have swastikas carved into your love handles? I go, yeah, well, I'm on Ozempic. So they're not as big as they used to be.
Yeah.
But they're still there. I'm thinking about getting my fat frozen. Because now I'm just
you're riffing.
I'm through the looking glass.
These people they're not used to being around edgelords like us, right? That are constantly pushing.
I should have
the parameters.
Yeah. I should have let them know that I was a level 3 UCB graduate,
right?
And they would have gone, okay, all right, we get it.
Yes, swastikas, and also
so
frozen fat.
So then I just went. I said, no. I said, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I said I was making a joke. I said, do you really think? And she goes, yeah, well, I just, she was like, yeah, you can't, I don't know about.
People are very, when you get out into to general pop.
And a lot
it's nuts.
And a lot of people from Los Angeles have moved to Albuquerque because of the tax breaks.
Sure.
So she was like from LA, now in Albuquerque. But then to the cast party, she and I were talking, and she's like polyamorous and
but those types of it's weird. Like the ultra kind of progressive people, can be like the most fucking uptight.
She was and so
about. Anything like that.
So now I'm on set for 6 waking hours, and I told the makeup girl that I swastika carved in my back, and I'm telling the director, I've only had time to grow a little Hitler mustache by Friday.
I feel like it's kind of a theme here. I can't quite put my finger on it.
I could have said
like maybe Nazi stuff. Not great. About.
But one had nothing to do with the other.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And then I'll just burn through a couple of other things. And then the fourth day we had a lot of, you can't say the word extra. We had a lot of
what do they use for?
Oh, background artists.
Background artists, sure. Yeah. Okay. It's like saying unhoused.
And by the way, they play a vital role in the telling of the story. Okay?
Absolutely. No, listen, you don't.
They are as important, if not more, than series regulars like myself.
Right.
Yes. So we have all these background artists, and they're there. And there was this couple that were there, and they were elderly, like maybe mid 80s. I don't even fucking know. I was kind of like, and the one woman had a walker, and this guy was not. He was. They were older, right? And so they sat down at a table, and we were at like craft services is over here, and we had this sort of like a big room for everybody. There was a smaller room, for principals, but there was a big room. So I went up to this older couple and I said, "Hey, I'm Brian. I'm on this show." I said, "By the way, we have craft services. Can I get you guys a coffee or anything?" So the guy was like, "Yeah."
You're like, finally somebody I can make Nazi jokes to.
Yeah, right. Look, you two look like you ran out of Auschwitz. Right.
Hey, let me check your wrist for numbers, and then just gauge their reaction. You're just like dipping into.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Lampshade jokes. How's that gonna fly? So I said. So I went and got them because I always feel like you should be nicer to old people. So I went and got them coffee.
Yeah.
I got a little plate of cookies. I brought it over. I put it down. We had a little small talk. Turns out the woman lived in L.A. for 100 years. They were married for a while. Blah, blah, blah. They live in Albuquerque, and they go on cruises. I'm trying to think of myself. This poor woman. Like, how the fuck? What are you doing with her on a cruise? But anyway, boom. So they're all day long, work. And then at the end of the day, she is the older couple. We're basically wrapped. For those of you who don't know, that means finished in show business terms. What do you want, mummy or something?
Yeah.
You got to go back to your sarcophagus?
Fuck yeah.
Well, how many pyramids are you in? And you're going to buy a lot of things and make other people buy them, pyramid scheme? So the guy goes, so they're sitting, the man and woman, and one of the production people is talking to the woman. And he says to her, "Oh, how'd your day go?" And what are you, Italian or something? Dago? Yeah. Shut up. And he goes, "Oh, did you enjoy your day of blah blah blah?" Because I think they've been on like Breaking Bad and stuff. I kind of got a lot of Breaking Bad.
They
people.
have been around. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she goes, the older woman. She goes, "Well, it was a good day, but I really would like a margarita." And the guy kind of laughs politely. And of course, I'm standing there, and I go, "Oh, I can make a little joke here." So I lean over, and
what do you got? What's got you laughing?
What's got you laughing? So I lean over and I said to the woman and the guy and the production guy, I said to the woman, I said, "It would be funny instead of after he politely laughed, you just looked him dead in the eye and said, 'I don't know what's so funny, Sonny. I want a fucking margarita.'"
That would be very funny.
It would be funny, right? Yeah. And her husband looks at me and he goes, "That how you talk in front of women?"
No.
I swear to God. He goes, "Is that how you talk in front of women?" And I swear to God, if the next thing I said to this guy, if I ever write a memoir, this is going to be the title of the memoir. I looked at him and I said, "I can't tell if you're joking or not." Because his wife kind of laughed.
Right.
And the production guy kind of laughed. I mean, and he goes, "I'm not joking." He goes, "I might be from the old school, but that's not how you talk in front of a woman." Yeah, exactly. He pulls a box cutter out of his pocket.
Mad Men, where he's like, "Take it back." And he's like, "No, boy." And then he's like, they got to roll up their sleeves. And they got to square off like this.
I took myself out of it. I said, "Listen," I said, "You're right. I'm sorry. I don't know you guys well enough to. I didn't."
Yeah, I've given that speech before. I don't know you well enough to have said that.
Yes. So I apologize.
Take your lumps.
Well, what does this motherfucker do? He goes, "Well, you should have more." He starts he just fucking he gets in the corner with me and he goes, "Well, you should have better manners." And so I just said again. I said, "You know what? I'm not apologizing twice."
You got your apology and your fucking cookies. I would think you'd have enough sort of social credit. I mean, having been very nice to me.
I know.
Though that if you just started going, you fucking stupid extra.
Yeah. And by the way, when you guys aren't around,
who's an elderly extra?
Yeah. When you guys aren't around, we don't call you background artists. Right. We call you extras. Okay, you're fucking cannon fodder.
Don't you have somebody you could be bouncing on your knee or giving a hard candy to or something?
Are you just here for the food voucher?
Right.
So anyway,
really turn on them.
Yeah. So fucking See you next month at your funeral.
Jesus.
So So I just left. And I went, and it was funny, though, because I kind of ran out of there like a house on fire. And there was a woman who drives us from, the set to the hotel. And she was like, "You ready to go?" And I said, yeah, let's just go. She goes,
"Get the fuck out of here.
Can I fill up the car with other people?" I go, "Can we just go now?" I said, I think I got something going on in my stomach. She goes, oh yeah. So I got in I
Yeah.
made her in a 14-person passenger van drive me 4 miles back to the hotel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, there's probably multiple drivers, right? Or you
two.
took the only. Okay.
Two. Oh, people were definitely waiting for the van.
Right.
But they were a bunch of actors. They're all talking about auditions and shit. I mean, they had,
I hope I get it.
Yeah.
I hope I get it.
Right.
They were probably broke into song.
Yeah. God, you really killed it today. God, I believed it. Yeah.
Right.
God, the truth. A lot of truth. A lot of truth today.
So much truth.
Yeah. So, and then but this is kind of a fun thing. So, Ovo Cool Cat?
OVO Cool Cat, yeah, sure.
He lives in Albuquerque.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hung out with him.
Nice.
Nice kid.
Yeah, I saw the photo.
Yeah. So, okay, for those of you, shout out OVO. So when I was in Albuquerque, I got on my instant messenger on Instagram. Goes, hey, this is me. Yeah. AIM. Yeah, right. Exactly. On my message board, my CompuServe message board. He goes, hey, I live in Albuquerque. I know you're going to be here, blah, 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 blah. Wednesday night.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah, fuck it. So I sent him a message.
You were probably on the show when because he came to the studio when we were at the Comic Strip Live.
He referenced that.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if that was the Brian McCarthy era or not, but you were there for most of the comic strip stuff.
Yes.
So
almost all of it.
I think you probably were.
Yes. And as a matter of fact, he listens to this show and he listens to Kevin's show. Like he's new. Anthony, like he knows everything that's going on. So very nice guy. But it was funny because I had mentioned to Adam before the show, like everything there has either a red or a green chili in it.
Right.
Which is fucking spicy. And so everything.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought, okay.
I mean, the red chili is spicier than the green chili, but they're both fucking spicy. And if you go into a restaurant and you go, hey, I know this sounds ridiculous, but can I have the chicken enchiladas with no chilies? They're like, what are you, 9?
Yeah.
Like even like the people that are the children, so they would just go, we'll bring it on the side. But even like it was even spicy. It was almost like they would make it with the green chili on top of it and just pull it off and put it on the side. Like it was
You're like, can you just not
you
just skip that
Can
step?
I just just no chili.
It's actually less work for you to not do it.
Can I pay extra just to not have any? But then, to their point, maybe it tastes like nothing if it doesn't have. That's like the only flavor profile.
I'm with them there because a lot of times when you sort of take that, it's like fettuccine. If you didn't add the Parmesan, it would
exactly
be
right.
It just tastes like cream. It's just like milk.
Yeah. So that's what kind of. So, and at this point, so by Wednesday, I had already Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I'd already had 4 meals because every night I would go out alone to different restaurants because, you get a per diem.
Nice.
And a lot of the other actors, I guess, would like get DoorDash and just hang out in their room.
Right. You want to get out and mix it up.
I want to go set
mix
it
up with the locals.
Go to TD's, maybe.
Lend your ID to
right. Play a little Full House jackpot. The Bob Saget jackpot machine.
Right.
He's
meet a disgraced law enforcement.
Yeah. He's really dirty. So I would always, I had a phone number of a couple of the actors and I would send them a text message and be like, hey, I'm going to go here. And I would even like pay for dinner. I don't know. I mean, just, and no one wanted to.
No takers.
No takers.
Yeah. They were all, probably all in their rooms practicing.
Yeah. They were like actually doing what you're supposed to do.
Actory stuff.
Yeah. God, all I could think of is myself is like, if I went out there and I was still drinking, woo!
Ooh,
like,
could
watch.
you imagine?
Well, I would have kept it together, but
that's a good question though. Like, just if we're kind of revisionist, whatever.
Sure.
If you had been drinking at that time, like in the height of it, where you're like throwing back glasses of rosé in one chug because you don't want to spill it, right?
Yep.
Would you? I mean, you probably stay sober could you stay sober for the tapings?
I would, yes.
Or would you want to be a little loose because, the process?
Okay, well, let's do it this way. Number one, I think I would definitely be going to happy hour, okay, whether by myself or alone. I definitely would have had the woman who drives from A to B. I would have had her take me to a package store because my room had a kitchen in it. So I'd want to have a box of rosé, like a
package.
Like a liquor store.
Liquor store. Okay, right. I never heard that.
Oh, okay.
Package store.
That's a term. Maybe I don't even know why I called it that.
Maybe you get a box of wine.
Oh yeah, box of rosé. Like one of the classic, like John Barrymore. One of the classic English Shakespearean actors. I would have that, and then also, I think I would at that because I would probably get back to the room. Have 3, 4, 5, 6 glasses of wine, then decide I should go eat somewhere. Then I would text somebody, another actor, and by now my texting would probably be a little looser.
Sure.
And they'd probably be like, this guy's fun to go out with. So then they would definitely come with me, and then at some point I would probably just wake up at 7 a.m. in my hotel room. Yeah. And I would completely black out for dinner and black out for dessert. And might have whoever I went out to dinner with me not make eye contact with me. To be perfectly honest,
I've had loosely some experiences like that.
Yes.
So in Brian's drinking days, exactly. I was only around you a couple times when you were really blitzed, but it was
So that's kind of what.
So like, do you remember?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Remember what happened?
Yeah, and that's even so. And also, I would probably check my phone, and I would have a bunch of weird credit card charges, that I could. Yeah, so I would black out at dinner.
Yeah, VIP rooms.
Always, I would always
parking fees.
Yeah, right, exactly. Or just for some reason, there's a restaurant and there's this 9 green chili enchiladas on the thing, right?
Yeah.
I've got where you tip, I'm just drawing swastikas. Yeah. Local white supremacist, Brian McCarthy. But I will say this, I would always show up on time for work.
Yeah.
I would get through the day. I wouldn't drink during the day. But it would be like lather, rinse, repeat. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I would get back to the hotel. I'd be like, well, did another day of that. Hey, I deserve, this box of wine is empty. Let me go to the liquor store or whatever.
Right.
Yes. So that was it. So then the guy, Ovio, cool cat. So by the 4th night, I was like, I can't go to another fucking restaurant with pozole soup and chicken enchiladas and sopapilla dessert, which is just a big piece of fried dough with honey on it. Everyone's like, you got to try our sopapilla. I'm like, how could it be any different from the other 19 places that are on this block that serve sopapilla?
We do a little pinch of nutmeg.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. Right. This one we serve in a hubcap. And then was it queso fundita? That was the other thing, which is just cheese sauce, and that was a cheese sauce, a dip that was on every menu. I ordered one of those, and that without green chili, that just tasted like fucking nothing. So anyway,
it's just
and then they would bring out chips and salsa. And the one time I tried the salsa, the guy goes, "It's not that spicy, man. You got to try it. Don't be such a puta." No, he didn't say that, but I said, look, I'm going to show you, and I put the chip in the salsa, and I took a bite. And my fucking ears, I thought they were ringing. It was so spicy.
Wow. I wonder if it is really, really. I have just a medium threshold.
You'd be fine. Listen, you'd be fine, but I'm sure there's stuff that's too hot. But the baseline spicy for me was just way too spicy.
Too much.
Yeah. I can do wasabi, but there's something about chilies.
Wasabi's hot though.
Yeah, but it's a different hot.
Okay.
It's more of a concentrated. I don't even know how to explain it. But
so you can do a horseradishy type hot. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
So I found this place called Two Fools, which was I was kind of by the
they fucking named the restaurant after you already.
Well, they have a fucking mirror there. They said, "Look at it. Look in the mirror. There's two fools."
Right.
You fucking nobody. It was an Irish bar. We were right by the University of New Mexico. So the Irish bar had there was an Irish pub there. So I went there. I met the guy there, Ovio Cool Cat, and I ordered I saw the menu at my hotel room. They actually had one of the CCTVs that I have. I asked for them to be in my hotel room. That was my only concession to my disability. And so I had looked at the menu, and I saw they had a famous chicken pot pie. And I was like, well, chicken pot pie is like the blandest food. Not that I like bland food, but
it's not spice wise.
Yes. I ordered the chicken pot pie. I took one bite and I spit it out. And I looked in the bowl. It was full of chopped green chili. I didn't pay attention, but it was.
So they really, is it like a government mandate or something?
It was, yeah. And the manager was walking past and I said, look, I'll pay for this, but I didn't realize it was going to have green chilies in it. And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's our green chili chicken pot pie."
Oh my God! But that wasn't what it was called.
I didn't read the description.
I
just saw the
chicken
word.
Pot pie.
I saw chicken pot pie. I didn't. I mean, who would have thought?
99% of the time, you're not gonna get green chilies in a pot pie. So
only in New Mexico.
I can see how that could be overlooked.
I didn't even think in a million years
Christ.
that. Yeah. So then whatever. So so then we went out that night. He and I went back to TD's, went to a strip club again.
Nice.
He had never been, and he said his mom was the paralegal for one of the owners' divorce. Very small town, Albuquerque.
Okay.
So we went there, and
so they waived the cover, I'm sure.
Yeah, he'd never been there. So
yeah,
we went in, and actually this time there was a girl. Girls were pretty cute, and there was a dancer there from Tampa. I didn't get any dances or anything, but and I don't want to blow up. You came in your pants. I remember. Fucking there's your sopapilla in your pants, sticky pants. No, but we were there, but this girl came up to me and she was chatting. And by the way, it's a very, very casual town. Everyone wears like hooded sweatshirts and baseball hats.
Right.
And if you're wearing like a sweater and a collared shirt, people came up to me 3 times and they were like, "Are you here shooting a TV show? Because you're not wearing a fucking."
Otherwise, they think you're one of Pinkman's boys, probably.
Yeah,
Badger or Skinny Pete.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, in the town of Albuquerque, there's something called Old Town, which is their little old town.
Old Town Albuquerque.
Old Town Albuquerque. There's a Breaking Bad store and a museum. I took a picture. If you go on Brian M. Show on Instagram, they actually have the original set from the chicken place.
Yeah.
El Pollo Hermanos.
Pollos Hermanos.
And they have it set up in the store. So I took a picture of that. I jumped behind the rope and stanchion and I said, "Quick, take a picture."
Yeah.
I was with one of the girls that's in the show. She's an actress. So that was it. So that's kind of like, that's sort of the week, really. And then we got through it, and the end of the week, everyone had a cast party and blah, blah, blah. And then I just came home, and now I'm home. So I'll keep everybody posted. If, when it comes out, if I'm allowed to share it, I'll share it. You know how it is. I mean, I'll see what happens. But I think
if it goes to series or
goes to series,
whatever they.
I know.
Whatever.
I know. Somebody was like, "Do you have
Show
to move?
business.
Do you have to move to Albuquerque?" I'm like, "No, I don't have to move to Albuquerque."
Yeah,
Jesus Christ! I mean, not again. It's a very nice town, and if I lived there, I'm sure it'd be
part of you have to relocate here permanently.
Like, listen,
for the rest of the time that we're not shooting, we're going to shoot for 3 months. But you have to live here
on call. We are putting a fire pole in your house, and you're going to slide down it and be right on the set. And that old guy and his wife. We're doing a new show. It's that old guy and that wife and you.
And
it's like Three's Company, but it's like you're gonna live with Mr. Roper and her, and he calls you foul mouthed Jimmy. Yeah. And I'd be like, all right,
it's called Margaritaville.
Yeah, job's a job. So anyway, I don't use that kind of can't talk in front of a lady.
I can't believe how, because I feel like even a dude that's 85 now wouldn't be like in front of a lady. Like, that's like you're from the 20s.
Well, I think we had talked during the day, and I believe he at one point in time he did some cowboying.
Okay.
So he was
some roping.
Yeah, he was like, "Look, dude, New Mexico. I mean, Albuquerque. The entire state of New Mexico, I think, maybe has 1 million people in it, and it's the size of
like a Wyoming.
It's the size of 2 New Yorks. So, and New York State has 25 million people. So, like, it's there's nothing in that fucking state.
They're real spread out.
It's very spread out. So, and everything is like brown. And my last night there, I went to like the nicest hotel in Albuquerque. And it's the 5th story. They're like, "You got to check out our view." I'm like, "Okay." Wow.
God bless.
I know.
Bless your heart.
You're adorable. Oh, thanks. You call this a view? In Manhattan, we have buildings that are like 1 million stories, and every floor is here. Jessica Parker will suck your balls. Yes. So anyway, so that's my big story about Albuquerque. But I will keep everybody posted. What did I miss for the week? Anything happen with you?
No, nothing. No?
Just kind of.
I don't think I have anything to report.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. There probably was, but I don't.
Yeah. Oh, and then when I was gone, one of my dogs had a massive heart attack, and but she's fine now.
Wow. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, I know. Well, apparently she's the beagle, and we don't know how old she is. She's 12, 13, 18. I have no idea. But she was like breathing. She had labored breathing, and my wife, we live right by like a 24-hour animal hospital. There's only like 5 in the world. I guarantee Albuquerque doesn't have one. Snarky snark. And we went there, and she went there. I was in Albuquerque, and while the dog was there, she had a massive heart attack. I kept thinking, remember something about Mary? When Matt Damon took the cord, for the electrical cord, and was zapping the dog's chest. You've never seen any movies.
No. I've seen that movie.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I thought that would pop a little more, but yeah. So the dog is now. She's fine. We give her like 14 pills a day, and then we give her eye drops. If the dog has any kind of a hole on her body, we just stick a pill up it. So
and you have a defibrillator kind of on hand at all times.
She's fine now. I know she's walking around, so we'll see what happens. But
crazy.
Yeah, I know, crazy.
Doggy heart attack.
And like I said, if anybody's listening and you have a pet and get pet insurance. I'm like Bob Barker. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Get pet insurance, because it is so expensive going to the vet. And luckily,
that's interesting, because this episode is brought to you by Safe Bark.
Yes. Promo code swastika. Yeah, exactly. Promo code foul mouth.
We don't speak that way in front of a lady.
Yeah.
Promo
code take your potty mouth
faces.
Out. Yeah. Oh my God. So embarrassing. Oh. And then we did do one more, and then I'll put it to bed. But then, and then the very last day on Friday, they wanted us to do these behind-the-scenes interviews, like how did it go, and talking to, like the one of the producers off camera, and everyone and all these actors, they were like nervous because they don't speak extemporaneously like I do.
Okay, they're just like if there's no book in front of me,
they were like, I don't know what to say. What do I say? What do I say? I was like, leave it to me.
Most actors I know, they're like such hams that like they can't wait to sort of. But maybe these are like real.
I don't know.
Fucking pros.
Only 3 of them. 3 of them were like they didn't know what they were worried about, what they were going to say. They didn't know what they were going to be asked, and they didn't have any prep or whatever. And I was like, look, who cares anyway? Like, I was like, let's do it. I don't know, like, fuck it. So I sat down, and one of the girls on the show was 25. She was very cute, and of course, I sit down, and my exit interview, they're like, so what'd you think about the show? And I was like, number one, if I wasn't married, I could definitely bang her. I'm like, out of the gate, I'm feeling it. She has daddy issues.
Totally.
I'm 50, she's 25. And then I believe I leaned into the camera and said, give her a nice mustache ride. And the producer off camera was laughing. And she was, and then I just went on to say some other bullshit. And then I just walked away. I didn't even wait for them to stop. I referenced.
They're still filming.
Yeah, they're still just
rolling.
They took that camera and threw it in some sort of reservoir.
Christ.
Yeah. So that was that. There's Albuquerque for you, everybody.
Okay, that's mild, I would say. I mean, in terms of
look, it could have gone. Yeah.
A couple of misunderstandings.
Yeah.
Nobody really blew up.
Well, one of the other actresses, they brought in somebody from very, very far away, and she got into a huge fight with the front desk at the hotel. And she called somebody at the front desk of the hotel a cunt.
Really?
Yeah. It's people very.
And what do you far away? You mean like
it's like another country,
New Zealand,
like thousands
like
of
something.
Kind of, yeah.
Like, did they have an accent? Like, were they like?
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
Yeah,
what was the accent like?
It was like a New Zealandish
accent. Okay.
Yeah,
so that's about as far away as you
pretty
can
much
be from. Yeah.
She's from Mars. Right.
But space settlement.
Yeah. So she was. So that was like the third day, and and she was like, and it was funny about this girl is this wasn't the 25-year-old, but she was like indignant. She was kind of like, she got to the set and she was like, I tried to go to the front desk and I told them that the washing machine was broken.
Sure.
And they gave me a hard time and I called her a cunt.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can't do that. You can't just call somebody a cunt at the hotel.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, well, she was being a cunt. She really leaned into it. I was like, I would get in such trouble if I did that.
Well, I mean, think about like because, they say that word is like has lower impact to them. But that would be like maybe us calling somebody a bitch, which you wouldn't do that.
Right. But if you're calling
either,
if you're in her country and they throw the word cunt around like it's a fucking volleyball at the beach, that's one thing. But if you're in America and you call somebody that works at the fucking Knights Inn or whatever off the highway and you're like, oh, your washing machine's broken and you're not responding in the manner that I'm accustomed to, you're a cunt. That's kind of how it went down, apparently.
Not you're being cunty. Interesting.
Yeah. So they so what happened was they actually brought in the manager of the hotel. It turned into like a weird thing. So I was kind of happy about it because maybe it took away from my my Nazi jabber.
Right. Casual.
Yeah. I was like, can you believe she called her a cunt? What a maniac.
You're leaning into it. You're going around really campaigning.
Yeah. If I were you, I would give all her lines to the guy over there with all the swastikas on his back carved in.
Sure.
Yeah. He seems like a real straight shooter.
Right.
So anyway, that was kind of a funny thing. So there were like other things at play, happening. Yeah. I wasn't the only person who was kind of problematic, I guess, whatever that was. But
I would say that's very outwardly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your thing is very passive. You're just trying to make people laugh. Or trying to suggest something.
Well, what was interesting was this. I do know that at the hotel there were like the production had taken over like a bunch of rooms. So I think the hotel they were sort of obligated to not do anything about it, because it was like a big ticket. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, put it this way. I have a feeling if it was only this woman and she's like, you're a cunt, then they probably would have.
They would get the fuck out. Yeah. Go to the La Quinta.
And actually, the woman that called her a cunt, she actually did say to me, because I was talking to her about it. Because, when you shoot these TV shows or even commercials or whatever, you just sit around all fucking day. You just talk and talk and talk and blah, 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 like.
Sure, a lot of downtime.
So, and I wasn't even particularly, I mean, I was social, but I'm kind of like, but she said to me that the manager that was on duty at the time came over and threatened to throw her out. So there was talk of that, but I think then another manager, I don't know, the team at the fucking La Quinta or whatever, they were like, look, you shouldn't have said that. It all kind of worked out, but they were like, I think because the production had so many rooms, I think they just took it on the chin or whatever. Maybe the girl apologized or something. I don't know. But then,
I'm sorry, you fucking cunt.
Yeah, I'm sorry. More of a
Still
bitch.
call her.
Yeah, exactly.
Why you're more of a bitch than a cunt.
More of a bitch than a cunt.
Probably didn't have a Marmite at the continental breakfast.
Yeah. And
the right muesli that she was used to.
Well, they had a grab and go, and little state with snacks and things. And I grabbed a couple of gummy bears, and the girl working there, she was like, "Just take them. It's okay. You don't have to pay for them. Just take them."
So wow!
I was
put them on the account.
Yeah. Well, she actually said there's a house account. I said no, I'll just buy them. But she goes, no, I just take them. So I took them to my room.
Sweet.
Yeah. I was there. You go. So that was the big week, and like I said, I'll keep everybody posted. You want to say hello to anybody?
Yeah, we're gonna go around the horn and say hi. Our buddy Ted, first one in the room.
Ted.
Hey, gorgeous boys. He says, Ray Zumach. Hi, Brian. Can you give us your thoughts on Israel and Palestine?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm going to say probably no to that.
Well, all I'll say is...
I don't know if he's
allow
seriously
me.
Asking.
I can't tell them apart in the dark. That's what I can tell you.
Hey, how you doing?
I don't know. Listen.
What's got you fucking laughing?
Well,
let's see. How's it going to... Ted says a masterclass in accents, a Mexican from Ottawa.
Yeah.
Hello to Josh Jack.
What's up, Josh Jack?
Hello to Lars.
Hello, Lars.
Oh, and then Lars wants to know, we were talking about this a little bit before the show, so we can explore it here. He says, what's Brian's opinion on the whole Jim Norton marriage thing?
Oh, wow.
Well, he's insanely jealous, probably.
Yeah, no. Well, we were talking. It was interesting because we were actually, Adam and I, we have a little lunch before we start the show. And I was just saying that, I was listening to The Bonfire and they were talking about it. I actually haven't seen it yet on YouTube, and I will. But, like I said, Norton has been, Jim has been, he's been with trans people for 25 years or whatever it is.
Yeah, at the base of the Holland Tunnel, mostly.
I will say he said something really funny. I was listening. I don't listen to Jim and Sam that much because Sam was a dick to me, so fuck that guy. But Jim, I was listening to Jim and Sam, and they were talking about how that Jim didn't have any plans for Thanksgiving. So I think Sam was like, come to my mom's house and whatever. And Jim was like, I don't know. Can I bring my wife? He goes, oh, yeah, everyone's meet her. And he goes, yeah, can I suck her dick in the bathroom? That's pretty funny.
I mean, there's a door.
There is a door. Yeah. So what I do think is funny, if they got do you think that Jim is like shopping this around as a reality show?
I mean,
why else would he?
I don't know. Maybe if it's consciously, but I mean, that's how obviously it's always like an element of you're in show business and you're kind of bringing people into your life.
Yeah.
I'm sure they wouldn't hate that idea.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's like a conscious thing.
I think it probably, well, somebody has to shoot it. It's not like he walks around with his own camera in his hand.
I was actually thinking that because like they're putting together the Christmas tree and and I'm like, yeah, he did have to have somebody come over and shoot their.
And you have to pay somebody to do that, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were up to something. But I don't know. I mean, like we had said before, we were talking about like you get to be a certain age, and if you're not, not married. I mean, this is a little more dramatic, I guess. But I still have a very. It is true with trans girls. It seems like nobody, and having had some experience with a man-made vagina, I get it, I guess. But everyone likes a pretty gal with a big dick, which to me just seems like a lot going on. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but it makes sense though if you're, it's like, there's. If you're into rap rock, you know what I mean, and then Limp Bizkit comes along, you're like. Fuck yes.
Yeah.
That's what I've been waiting for.
And even, and again, I'm not speaking out of turn because Joe talks about it, but I mean, I talked to Joe DeRosa about when he was with his transgender person at that Skankfest thing, and he went into the the bathroom with this person,
as one does.
And I said, when you were in there, I said, Did you touch her genitals at all? And he goes, yeah. He goes, I jerked her off. It was really hot. And I was like, oh boy,
interesting. Yeah. That's I will say an interesting thing to discover later in life, because I think Jim's whole thing is I don't know if I'd want to use the term wrestling with it, but I think it's not typical, especially in that kind of like comedy world. Yeah, it's You're really putting a lot out there. You're very making yourself very vulnerable.
Yes.
So,
well, it was funny. I think I was listening to The Bonfire. I can't believe I'm referencing these stupid serious shows. But and somebody said if anything is going to wake up zombie Patrice, this is going to be it. Because imagine Patrice O'Neill, alive with all of this. Because that was already. Because again, I don't think that Jim could have even 10 years ago could have done this. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I think...
Well, he had spoken about it while Patrice was alive, right? Because when he talked about it on O&A...
Yes.
Yeah?
But I think it's one thing...
But not...
To speak about nothing to marry somebody...
Writing vows. I mean, there was probably jokes about that. You know what I mean? About, exchanging vows with, the trans
right, but
prostitutes.
I think at this point, if you're... If you're with Jim and you're making jokes about how disgusting it is, then that's perceived as homophobic or something. I think I think you're on the wrong side of it at this point if you're going to be blah 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 blah. But listen, man, whatever.
Well, but I think there's also
there are definitely jokes to be made, but I think they can't land on the side of homophobia now. It's a joke about how Jim likes to get fucked in the ass, or who knows, whatever. Mm-hmm. But so I definitely want to watch it on YouTube. But I got to say, like I I had a layover in Houston, and I got upgraded, and I was sitting next to this woman whose daughter worked for Pete Dominic. You know Pete Dominic?
Sure.
Comic.
Yeah.
On his show, on his like liberal talk show, whatever it is.
From Sirius.
He doesn't have the show anymore. I guess he got fired, or they stopped doing the show or whatever. But
there was a great. Do you remember that clip of
him and Joe?
He and Joe. That was great.
Yeah, when Joe called him
That's
a cunt.
the extent of the Pete Dominic show.
All you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say I've known Pete for a long time, and I mean we're certainly not friends or anything, but once he got that show, I ran into him a couple of times because it was like a liberal talk show, and he took himself very, very seriously.
Is that
which
right?
is in the comedy world is not a great idea. I mean, do whatever you want, but he kind of like I think he really was like, I'm a pundit now.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Sure.
It was like,
I should be in a square on MSNBC.
Yeah,
I worked with him a couple of times. Nice enough guy, but yeah, he was like, a serious. He really would want to roll up his sleeves and have like serious conversation about
like,
important things.
like, oh my God, I can't do this.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean,
we're
who
not
cares?
really. We're not important. We're not serious people.
Yeah,
we're not important people.
And let's be honest, a face for radio.
Yeah.
So, but the woman I was sitting next to, she was really nice when we were talking, and at some point, she was like, I go, you're from Houston. She goes, yeah. She goes, oh, all those migrants. I was like, oh, boy.
Yikes.
Well, when you're in business class, that's who you are rolling with.
Migrants.
Yeah, she's like, oh, these migrants are pouring over the...
Right, coming here and doing all the work we don't want to do.
Yeah, I know, right.
Listen to me. I sound like a regular Pete Dominic.
I know,
now.
yeah. I had no idea I was sitting with Rachel Maddow.
Libtard.
Yeah, libtard, yeah.
Hilarious. Oh, and also shout out to Nick.
Hey,
Nick says... Hi, I'm high right now.
Oh, yeah, I know who Nick. Yeah, of course he is. Well,
probably Nick.
Hey, Nick, you are awake.
Our guy. And then Ted says, I believe in reference to the Jim Norton new wife thing, he/she will take half of everything Jim has within 3 years. So Ted thinks that this gal is just in it for
Do you think
the property.
I've been to Jim's apartment. It's very nice. He obviously has a couple of bucks,
Sure.
I don't think he's like loaded. But I would not be surprised.
Single guy,
if
makes a good salary.
I would not be surprised if he had some sort of prenup or something. I would imagine.
Yeah, depending on what her situation is, because I think maybe she's some kind of entertainer or something.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if I can
know.
But some of those chicks can have like a couple $1 million in the bank because they're...
You know what? How funny it would be if they got divorced and he took all her money.
He gets palimony.
Yeah, exactly. Palimony.
Yeah, because she makes like $1 kajillion.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, listen, there's like, God, there was one chick that I, kind of follow, and she was like talking about, she's like, my goal is to make like 30 grand a day.
Doing what?
Like OnlyFans, porn, like all that shit.
Okay.
I don't know what Nikki Norton's situation is, but I don't know. I think maybe they met some way.
Nikki Norton.
That's her name. But that's what they,
man.
that's what
That's
it's their
funny.
Instagram handle. Or whatever.
Sure, I gotta follow that. But
Yeah.
But I mean, again, but I would think that Jim is definitely at the income bracket where if he went to, there's definitely a business manager there.
Yeah,
So
sure.
If Jim went to his business manager and was like, "Look, I want to get married to this person," someone I guarantee had a conversation with him. And was like,
he's not a dumb guy.
you might want to think about getting some paperwork in place. But he might have been like, you know what, I love her and I don't care. I'll give you half or whatever I have anyway. But I'd be surprised at that level if it wasn't at least the conversation where somebody was like, you sure you don't want to do this? So we'll see what happens.
You're probably right.
God, I have to say this. Last week, I actually watched SNL, and there was a sketch on SNL. Adam Driver was on the show,
right?
And Adam Driver there was a sketch where it was like where they were at it was a bunch of like couples sitting around like a living room table, and one couple's like, we're expecting, and we're really excited, we're trying for a baby, and the other couple's like, we're expecting to. And then Adam Driver and that Asian guy on SNL were sitting at the table, and they go, guys, we want to make an announcement too. We're also trying. And they go, oh my God, that's great. Are you, are you having a surrogate? And they go, no, we're just trying a lot. And they were like, what?
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, we're just trying. We love trying. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is so funny having like a gay couple sit around with two straight couples and they're like,
Right.
we're just we're having a lot of anal
We're
sex.
just cream pieing each
Yeah,
other.
we're just, we'll see what happens.
We want to be the first.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens. Trust
Sure.
me, if anybody can get pregnant, I'll get him pregnant.
Yeah.
It was like the funniest fucking sketch.
And is the premise that we're, and maybe I'm overthinking this, but that it's like everybody has to be so non-judgmental that we just have to accept the fact and not like
No, the premise was that these
Object.
two gay guys literally thought they could get each
oh,
other
they
pregnant.
actually just were stupid and thought they
Yes. They thought if they have enough sodomy, somebody at some
Right.
point would put a baby in the other guy.
Yeah.
Because and the other straight couples were like, you guys know how this works, right? Like you
could.
you're not going to be
So
able
they
to
were
get
just
pregnant.
oblivious.
They were like, oh no, don't worry. The stuff we're up to, he'll get pregnant. It was really funny. So I suggest if you haven't, like Ted.
funny.
Yeah, Ted, I don't know if you get YouTube in England. But do you get YouTube in England, Ted?
I don't
That's
think
something,
so.
especially up in the northern.
think so.
I thought that was really funny. I was like, wow, that's fucking funny as shit.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that was it.
It's a simple premise,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
Tried and true.
Tried and true.
Butt babies, always funny.
Yeah, so I thought that was like, I was like out of left field too. I was like, wow, they're really, because it's pretty like, pretty on the, especially because SNL it's gotten, it's not very, pretty
You got
woke.
cold opens of
Yeah.
fucking Kate McKinnon as Hillary Clinton singing Hallelujah. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, especially because, and also last week, apparently the cold open, which was all of those presidents of the
the debate.
Presidents of the universities. Remember the woman from the University of Pennsylvania? She got fired because they're having all these like demonstrations on like Harvard where they're like free, kill the Jews and whatever. And
all the sort of anti-Zion or the
exactly.
pro-Palestine. Free Palestine.
Yes. So they had it was like a sketch where the president of the University of Pennsylvania was on there, and apparently people were like, it was the worst sketch in the history of talking.
Wow.
And I don't know, who cares?
Yikes.
But that one was
History
funny.
of talking.
So I know.
History of the spoken
in the history
word.
and since the days of the Babylonians, since the days of ancient Druids.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, I don't know.
All right, folks. Patreon.com/Brian McCarthy. Sign up.
And also next week we have Howard on. That'll be our big Christmas show. So I don't know. Should we do a Secret Santa with Howard?
I was thinking about getting him something weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a leather cock ring or something.
He needs another jacket to layer his
maybe a moleskin, but with like dirty pictures
made
in
of
it.
actual moles.
Sure.
Oh God, it'd be great if we had. Oh God, we should see if we get to Lucy Sunflower to show up or something.
Okay, I'll text her. I think I
Okay.
still have her number.
Okay.
I do think the last time I texted her, we were on here and we were like, text her. I don't think she ever got back to me.
Nothing got back to
But
us.
All
right, we'll try to make it fun.
I'll say, hey, remember us, and I'll put like a photo of us or
Okay.
something so to be like, we're fun guys.
Okay. Yeah, maybe she was.
Or I can just actually. It's probably best if I go through Lainey because Lainey does all that stuff. She likes to be sort of in the loop. So
Yes.
we'll go through Lainey. I'll talk to Lainey.
We'll try and figure it out. Okay, everybody, thank you. Patreon, blah, blah, blah. And we'll see you, and we'll be back with the Patreon show.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm actually going to reset.